On Friday, November 30th, Longwood University students would line up outside of the Amelia Room in order to get tested for HIV. Human immunodeficiency virus has killed more than 25 million people since 1981. Students would come in here, get tested, and they were able to know the results immediately afterwards. The reason the school hosts this event is in order to recognize World AIDS Day, which takes place on December 1st every year. Stubbs Hall will be going under serious reconstruction for the 2013-2014 academic school year. This all-girls residence hall, which hosts on-campus sorority life, has been in serious need of repair for quite some time now. Now that Longwood University has the monetary assistance to complete this project, the plans from previous years will be revitalized.
I'm Rachel Lewis reporting from Longwood University, where the school has decided to cancel classes both Thursday and Friday due to the heavy snowfall the campus received on Wednesday, February 12th.
I'm standing in the future location of a 7-story parking garage where construction is set to take place in 2013 right after graduation. The garage will be 400,000 square feet and will have 1,200 parking spaces available for faculty and students.
Good morning, I'm Rebecca Terry.
And I'm Rachel Lewis with your Longwood Weekly News.
Our top story today involves a campus-wide email that recently sparked conversation among Longwood students.
That's right, Rebecca. On Tuesday, January 21st, classes closed at 2 p.m. due to heavy snowfall. Later that night, students received an email from Tim Pearson, the Vice President of Student Affairs, whose main role on campus is to keep students informed. The email, titled Be Aware, notified students that Farmville Police will no longer issue warnings for noise complaints and will start to make arrests as appropriate. Pearson said police will be working with landlords to evict any problem tenants.
In other news, there were 2 crime reports on Sunday, February 23rd. The first one took place in the vicinity of Grove Street and Buffalo Street around 1:20 a.m. It involved the sexual assault of a Longwood student by another Longwood student who was then arrested and charged with rape. The student is currently being held in the Piedmont Regional Jail. Later that evening at 6:58 p.m., there was a report received by the Longwood Police from Lancer Park North from a student who was threatened by another Longwood student who had entered their apartment without permission. They were then arrested and charged for breaking and entering with intent to commit assault. They are also being held in the Piedmont Regional Jail. If you have any additional information on either of these cases, please notify the Longwood University Police Department at 434-395-2091. World AIDS Day is an opportunity for people worldwide to unite in the fight against HIV, show their support for people living with the virus, and to commemorate those who have died.
I know people that had like the scare of AIDS, and I know what they went through, and I never want to go through that.
Crossroads is a community services board that serves 7 different counties in the area. They contributed 50 test kits to anyone interested in knowing their status. Marquise, an alumni of Longwood University, who is now the prevention specialist for the program, talks about how the testing was facilitated.
So we take an oral specimen, is a cotton swab on the end of a wand, kind of like a pregnancy test, but you swab it in your mouth along your gum line, and then you pop it into a solution, and it runs through, and it's testing for antibodies. Which are a physical response to an infection being in your body. And there's a specific antibody that's related to HIV.
Roughly 40 people showed up to the event held in the Langford Ballroom, but only 25 actually registered for the testing. While there, people could take free condoms and red ribbons and participate in activities to raise further awareness about AIDS. The peer health educators in charge are hoping to see more attendance next year. Nina Davis talks about how they plan on setting the process up differently.
I think the biggest issue is that people don't feel comfortable with getting tested in a public environment amongst their friends. Like, we're students just like them, and they may not feel comfortable. So maybe we can find another atmosphere maybe, or another secluded area where they don't have to travel far, something along those lines.
This is Rachel Lewis signing off for LUTV.
My name is Bobby Jones, and I am a new member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated.
Whoa, fight, you know!
Whatever was the emergency, it's nothing for my benefit for me. I will go capital, you stop by. I love my benefit the day I die.
Till when?
The day I die.
Till when?
The day I die.
Till when?
The day I die.
We put in a lot of work for the show. I mean, the show is like not, it's not all for us. It's for the audience. and we try to entertain the audience. So. What's more than the show is spitting information, what we call spitting, where the pledge will say information really fast, where the audience may not understand it, but the Sigma or Zetas, with our sister organization, Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, will understand.
And when you're performing the songs, it's almost like an out-of-body experience to a certain point. And the best part of the show, I would say, had to be the reveal. When you take off your mask, it's almost like you're not in control of what you're saying at that point. And months of preparation and giving your life to what you want to pursue and what you want to be a part of all comes out in that one instance.
Several questions are still being asked about the mall shooting that took place in Columbia, Maryland on Saturday, where 2 workers were killed by shooter Darian Marcus before he took his own life. NBC News reports that the police have not been able to find a connection between the shooter and the victims. The event baffled many, and investigators are still trying to determine what his motives were behind his actions. In other news, Today reports that a new guide dog named Godiva has been given to Cecil Williams, a blind man who fell onto the subway tracks last month in New York City. Rescued from the oncoming train by his former guide dog Orlando, they were both able to make it out alive with only a few minor injuries. Because Orlando was ready to retire from service at age 11 and Williams' insurance was only able to pay for an active working dog, anonymous donations made it possible for him to keep his longtime companion. Williams said that he was very thankful for the donors because now he has 2 dogs that can protect him from harm's way.